Stop everything you're doing right now. I don't care how important it is. I have news that'll blow it out of the water. And trust me, you're going to want to get this sitting down. So if you're in the operating room watching this, it's time to put down the scalpel and pay attention.
Dude, there's no way that they're gonna be super aggressive on it.
YouTube has just made a massive change to the platform, and in standard YouTube fashion has done a horrible job at communicating it to the community. It's up to me, Ace Reporter Charles here, to tackle this topic from the front lines, just riding through like Paul Revere, lighting the lanterns, letting you all know that another awful set of changes are coming to YouTube that have already overnight tanked some creators' source of income from their channels.
Really, I've received another email from YouTube confirming that they will not be restoring status of any of my content by or removing any age restrictions on my content. I feel completely let down by YouTube. Okay. The offending content violates their change of policies only recently, which they will now retroactively apply to everybody. If you have played a mature game, your content will be age restricted in the future. Wow. I genuinely can't believe this is appalling lack of communication. Wow, that's rough. Okay.
Demonetized like half of their videos with no explanation, and more channels are soon to follow as this continues to roll out. And I'll let it be known right away here that yes, my channel has been hit extremely hard by this new shadow policy that they've slid into the equation here. The policy is, if you say any swear word or anything less than proper in the first 8 seconds of a video, you instantly get demonetized for it no matter what. There is no...
Well, I thought that's kind of how it was. I thought it was like the first 30 seconds you shouldn't say a no boo-boo word, you know?
Wiggle room. If you say anything that's not squeaky clean Weenie Hut Jr. and you let that rip in the first 8 to 15 seconds of that video, well, you're just getting blasted. And
I thought that's how it was. No? I felt like the first 30 seconds, I feel like the first 30 seconds, they're like, hey, oh, maybe it wasn't all bad words. Maybe it was just some bad words. I thought I'm looking at some of my old videos. I have a couple of more yellows, but not that bad. But yeah, like in the thing, I think you're not supposed to say any sussy baka words. But okay.
There's nothing you can do about it. Now, to a lot of you, hearing that's probably not surprising because the previous policy that all YouTube...
It was like the first 30 seconds, I think you could say like damn or something, but like you couldn't say anything too explicit. But outside of that, it's... I mean, I've been trying not to do anything in the first 30 seconds, so...
YouTubers were playing ball with was the first 30 seconds you couldn't say fuck. You couldn't say anything super hard like fuck. Yeah. Because if you did, you'd likely get demonetized.
Why 30 seconds? I don't know. I guess it's from an advertiser perspective. In case you click on a I really don't know why 30 seconds. That's why I'm just going to do this for now. This is the first 30 seconds of all my videos. That's it. That's all I'm going to do from now on. That's all I'm going to do from now on.
Monetized. But now, it applies to the first 8 seconds, and all profanity is being treated equally, except for a couple of exceptions like hell and damn, I guess. Maybe even ass. You might be able to...
Hold on, we got to read this. YouTube says that all varieties of profanity will not be treated equally and will not be differentiated based on levels of severity, though YouTube does also note that it is not treating words like hell and damn as profanity anymore. Oh, okay. Though this is a little weird, content where profanity is used after the first 8 seconds may receive an ad revenue. However, if profanity is used right in the first 8 seconds of the video, okay, it will not monetize right.
Except for a couple of exceptions like hell and damn, I guess.
Those aren't bad words anymore. Hell, damn, damn, hell, hell, damn. Now that's going to be the first 8 seconds.
Maybe even ass. You might be able to squeeze a little ass in there in the beginning, I suppose, if the YouTube Illuminati is feeling generous with their policy enforcement that day. Now, while that's all pretty clear about just not using any profanity whatsoever in the first 8 seconds, it gets a little muddy when it starts talking about a focal usage of profanity throughout the video. It says, such as a mention in every sentence, but that's not exactly how they enforce it. For a lot of the videos that have been demonetized, at least on my side,
some videos also fall into together. Focal usage of profanity throughout a video, such as a mention in every sentence. Profanity used in the entire thumbnail. Okay.
It's not like I'm going around hitting them with like Saints Row dialogue. It's just very confusing what's actually triggering this new demonetization wave that's sweeping through like a plague. For example, RT Game, again, isn't exactly a creator known for like intense swearing and getting out of control and unhinged and saying profanity and...
Well, are they a video game streamer? Because it seems like they might be. Maybe that's why they are. And like they're games that are doing like 18 plus are getting age restricted, which is bizarre, you know?
Creator known for like intense swearing and getting out of control and unhinged and saying profanity in every sentence like this policy here. And yet so many of his videos just got demonetized.
Yeah, that sucks.
And he's also not someone that...
I mean, that's damn. That's damn hell. Hell damn, bro. Hell damn.
That does a whole lot of cursing and swearing like a sailor in the first like minute of his videos either. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's not as clear as these rules seem to think that it is. Also, this rule applies...
and to be honest with you, it's probably going to be harsher for larger content creators, I feel like. It's going to be a little bit different. Because I think that the larger content creators tend to have more eyes on them, and they tend to have like a little bit more trouble with their monetization policies.
Retroactively to every piece of content ever made, even as far back as like 2007. So like half of my catalog of videos is now demonetized. This happened to a ton of creators. 7. So like half of my catalog of videos is now demonetized. This happened to a ton.
That's insane. That's rough, man. That's brutal. I guess the only good thing for Moist Critical is that like he usually makes videos that are like today videos. Am I saying that right? Like today videos? Like it's usually he doesn't have videos that he doesn't do like video essays that last like that people will watch over years. For the most part, I think he has like today's like my stuff is very similar as well. But okay.
Of creators, and because it's a new policy, yet every old video ever made now has to play by those rules. So it ended up with so much being demonetized. But it's very vague when it comes to the enforcement here. Let me give you just 2.
Why though? What's their motivation? Because like I don't think YouTube cares. I think that did I get hit? And I don't think so. I seem to be fine. I don't curse that much. I will sometimes, but I definitely try not to curse in the first 8 seconds of any video. I try to be very good about that. At all. I don't say any bad boy words. I try to keep it super palatable. My thing is why? Why is it that they're doing this? Because I don't think YouTube cares. I don't think that YouTube cares about bad boy no words. I think that they care about money, which makes sense to me. So are they feeling some kind of pressure from advertisers to rope in some of the content because they're, because we wouldn't want to see another adpocalypse, of course.
2 quick examples from 2 new videos I made. Both of these were monetized as of 12 hours ago. So this first one is just called Good News. It is legitimately just going over very wholesome topics. The focal point is not on swearing, it's not.
Good news. I'm going to go I'm going to watch the first 8 seconds. Okay. I'm going to watch let's see what we got here.
This week's been pretty doom and gloom with a lot of awful shit coming.
Oh, that's probably why they're there. You go. That's why. That's unfortunate. I don't know, man. I've always tried to keep those 30 seconds clear. That's brutal though. That's rough because now all these other I imagine all these content creators would have just been like, oh, I will just not say poo poo in the first 8 seconds. That's all it would have taken. It's unfortunate. That's brutal. People should be able to get the opportunity to like somehow edit that out in their video and then get reviewed for monetization again. That would be good.
It's not a potty mouth kind of video. It's just going over wholesome topics. But in the intro, I said shit pretty early. This week,
3 seconds.
It's been pretty doom and gloom.
Dude, come on. You showing I just fucking watched this, dude. What are you doing to me?
Gloom with a lot of awful shit coming to light all across the internet. So me saying shit here is clearly what triggered the demonetization flag. Okay, a little upsetting, but they've now made these rules clear and they're retroactive, so I get it. But here's an example of one that makes no sense at all by their new rules. This is me talking about Godslap Issue 2 being out. Don't worry, I'm here now. I know for the last few months you've been cold and afraid, the uncertainty eating away at you, wondering what comes
next. What is Godslap?
Well, I'm here to show you what comes next. It's issue 2 of Godslap, baby. I probably don't need to explain what Godslap is, you already know.
Is it porn?
It's our comic book series that's become more popular than the Bible. There's no...
Oh, they have a God. Oh, that's why why they have that in the background. That makes sense.
No profanity at all, not even low-level...
My tits are looking good today. Oof.
Profanity. I don't mention ass or butt or anything like that at all. I'm just talking about Godslap and getting excited. It's a comic book...
Hey, Liz, punishing people's old videos because of rules that just got put out are not cool. Listen, I understand that, but then also... I got banned for that on TikTok, at the end of the day, because I had a ton of videos. I had made edgy TikTok content, but they was like all of them were solid. Boom. They did an update, an advertiser update. Fucking demons outside my room. And I got permanently banned instantaneously. That's really what happened to me. I remember logging in. I was banned, but I could log in. It was weird. Like 30 videos were taken down from like a long time ago. I need to get a new mic arm. Somebody recommend a new mic arm and a new webcam for me to get, and I'll buy it. Anyway, yeah, I got Nay-Nade.
Series we've worked on for a long
at least
time.
they have their channels, that's all I can say.
And I made this video just going over everything and letting you all know that it's...
Is this going to be adhered to YouTube Shorts?
Available at godslapbook.com. This wasn't supposed to be an ad for it, but it's a great example here because there is no profanity used throughout this video until 5 minutes and 37 seconds into it after giving a plot summary for issue 1. Surrounding Sal,
whoa, his whole hand is gone.
Them off with more finger flicks which blow their fucking head off. They share a brief conversation. So what could have possibly triggered this demonetization? Is it using profanity at all that's going to result in demonetization? Because that'd be very concerning if so. The best guess I can muster is they must have been really upset about the animation because we had an animation made for issue 2, and it's a pretty gory animation. So it comes in at around a minute into the video, and there is some animated gore and violence. But that's a minute into it, and again, that's
Yeah, that probably is what it is.
not the focus of it, and I wouldn't think anyone would be like disturbed or shocked by the content. It's not anything that's, you know, egregious or over the top. It's just violence in a comic book and animated format. So would that really now result in demonetization for any channel that has anything that's even close to this level of violence? Because
Why'd you show it again, dude?
that's
You're gonna
really
get me
strict.
demonetized.
Like what you see there is something you'd find in like any M-rated or even T-rated games sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, is apparently they're doing it. They're hitting the games as well. So
Like, it's not that extreme. Like, I don't see why that would warrant being demonetized, but it is a bit scary because this has all happened overnight with no explanation, and it's not just, you know, bad words and things like that. This will
yeah, I wonder why. I wonder. See, this is the thing. I'm with all this kind of rolling out so quickly. It makes me think, because, like, listen, I know a lot of people are frustrated with YouTube. I'm a late comer to the game, and I feel like YouTube hasn't been that bad overall. This is like a scary change, but overall, I get it. It sounds like they got very quick pressure from advertisers to make very quick changes, because I feel like YouTube would have taken a little more time, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they would have taken a little bit more time to be like, hey guys, we're going to implement this in the next month. But now all of a sudden they boom, right at like right off the bat, boom, they slam it. It makes me feel like YouTube is potentially getting pressured by advertisers. Why is, dude, I swear there's a fucking demon outside my house. I feel like YouTube is feeling the pressure from advertisers to make this change very quickly so that it doesn't get worse, even worse, more quickly. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want another adpocalypse like round 2. Little redundant there. Another adpocalypse round 2. Anyway, you get my point. So that's what I feel like. Yeah. Because advertisers can be pretty brutal, man. I mean, if they don't have their advertising if they don't have their advertisers, then, you know, obviously the platform doesn't make money. We don't make money. I'm just wondering why does it come now? Because YouTube, or excuse me, like, the holiday season is the biggest season for advertisement revenue, right? It's the craziest time, and people start making a ton of content. And other people who don't, like myself, you know, we tend to fall by the wayside a little bit, but that's okay. So why would it happen after advertisement revenue season? That's what I don't understand. The only thing I could think of is that they made so many videos, or the people made so many videos, and like advertisers started to go like, what's going on here? Because that's what happens. People ramp up the amount of videos they make, like the bigger content creators, like their vlogs and whatnot. Did they ramp up? Oh, you know what? Maybe it was YouTube Shorts. I don't know. Because those are really raunchy. They don't really have any, you know, you don't get traditionally monetized. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, what happened? Yeah, they should communicate better. But is it just an excuse to cut on the budget? What does that mean, an excuse to cut on the... Like, I just want you to understand, like that doesn't make sense. And I'm not, like, shitting on you. If a video gets flagged for a yellow, like, whatever mark, this is the general way that this happens. All right. For the most part, there's 3 different things. There's like your green, your yellow, and I'm so good at like that writing, and your red. Green means like pretty much every advertiser's solid. Yellow means it's like limited. So like, let's say maybe it's like 10% advertisers. Some people are okay with putting stuff under like yellow monetization, like, you know, like Donald Trump would run ads on my demonetized videos. And then red means like none at all. Right? If something gets yellow checkmarked, YouTube isn't going to put just as many ads as we're going on the green one. They're only putting that 10% on. And YouTube gives you, I think it's about 50 or 55%. Let's say it's 50% of ad revenue. So if your video gets demonetized, YouTube doesn't benefit from it at all. They don't make any money from it. It doesn't help them to demonetize you. If anything, they want you to get as monetized as possible, because then they get to put advertiser revenue on there, and then they split the advertiser revenue with you on there. That's how it works. They give you 50% of the ad revenue. So that's the thing. So there's nothing, like, YouTube isn't benefiting from this decision at all. That's why, to me, it just makes it seem like they must be getting pressured from advertisers to adhere to a particular something. And I just don't know why it comes now. It's after the holiday season. And I think it must be because there was like an influx of content. in the holiday season, and maybe like things are gotten a little too raunchy. Maybe people have gotten a little too like, you know, lackadaisical, because I know that over the past year or so, I remember seeing a thing, it might have been a year or so ago, YouTube, they announced, they're like, hey, we're going to loosen up on our guidelines a little bit. And I was like, oh, cool. You know, which means that they probably were getting like the green light to be a little more edgy, and maybe it went a little too far. They might have got some advertisers saying like, yo, this is too much. And then here we are now, they're implementing like a boom, an instantaneous slap. That's the only thing I can think of, and it makes the most sense to me. It's frustrating for sure, but I don't think that it comes from a place. They're not trying to hurt their creators. That would be insane. You know, that would be ridiculous.
Applies to so much other shit that they're now enforcing heavily. But it's not just for getting a little wacky with your language in videos that'll result in demonetization now. If you're getting a little wacky with your game choice, if you're a gaming YouTuber, you can get demonetized for it,
That's
even
rough.
age restricted in some cases. If you're playing a game that's kind of violent, you're very likely to get demonetized for it.
I wonder why. That one doesn't make too much sense to me, because usually we could separate. I mean, it would make sense that Charlie got demonetized on his video for like all the gore, like animated gore and that. If they're going to crack down on video games, why video games? That's so bizarre to me. Why video game? That's going to hurt video games. Those like more mature games are going to have a harder time getting streamed, because like if you do like a playthrough or a gameplay video, it's going to make it rough. I honestly, we might be expected to see like M-rated games or whatever have a filter that makes it less gory. So.
And if there's bad language...
What big advertisements do you think put the pressure on? Any of them. Like, literally anybody. Like, one person just goes like, yeah, you need to change this. Like, if Amazon was like, hey, we're not going to advertise on your platform anymore because if you don't make this change, they're going to adhere to it because they're going to be a significant chunk.
In that game, especially early on in the video you make covering that game, you're likely to be demonetized for it. And in fact, Callisto Protocol is the most recent example. You can get age restricted for it too. Callisto Protocol was deemed too gory. It's too much. This is very unholy stuff we're seeing here. So anyone that made videos on Callisto Protocol got age restricted for it, including me. A couple of them I know slid under the radar, but for the most part, anything that had Callisto Protocol did get age restricted, which is almost poetic because you might remember that Callisto Protocol is inspired by Dead Space, and Dead Space 2 had the worst marketing campaign of all time called Your Mom Hates Dead Space, and it was all about how offended mothers were getting at Dead Space. It was very silly, but now it's like become reality for YouTube. YouTube is now that Dead Space mom when it comes to violent video games.
Yeah, I mean, I do get it though. Like so far, I understand all those changes that they're making.
It's pretty pathetic, but what's the saddest part about this whole situation is YouTube's refusal to be transparent with this and make it clear that these policy changes are coming. I had to find out, as did everyone else, after being hit by it and then doing digging, because anytime there's a policy
See, that's bad. Did they put it on Twitter or something?
change, YouTube treats it like a government secret, like the Krabby Patty secret formula. They just refuse to share it. So I had to learn by searching around online, talking to other creators, as well as talking directly to YouTube in order to get answers for what was going on. And even my YouTube contact wasn't aware of this until I brought it up and he did digging on his end.
See, that's bad. Like, I understand the quick change, but they should have at least been like, hey guys, here's a newsletter. We're sorry, we're porking you in the booty hole. I wonder why. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, what does YouTube, how do they benefit? I'm looking on their their Twitter. There's nothing on here. It's just a bunch of things that say tag the most inspiring creator. Okay.
And that is absolutely not any fault of his own. That just goes to show you how split YouTube is internally, where things just aren't communicated effectively even on the inside. So how the fuck can they possibly manage to inform the community, I guess? It is so laughable. This policy is a game changer for a lot of channels. You have to completely alter your content strategy depending on like what you do. Like if you play like a certain game that could now be deemed a little too violent for ads. Like this is something that changes a lot for many creators.
Yeah, it's rough. So far, it doesn't seem too crazy. It's like a lot of people get frustrated when anything happens. Like of course, I'm even feeling frustration. I'm like, fuck, how is this gonna hurt me? It sounds like it's somewhat simple. It's like stay away from any type of like gore, even video game and animated gore, and try not to curse too much in the first 30 seconds. And in general, try not to curse that much. Like in general, try not to say too many bad boy curse words.
And you have to find out by going through.
I think the games will be pushed to make something like streamer mode. Yeah, that's what's going to have to happen. They have to, or else they're not going to have their games played, which makes sense. You know, it just sucks for somebody who's like been playing some kind of like gory or horror games, and that's like their whole channel, and they've worked like really hard to build up their channel, and all of a sudden, boom, they're kind of like they're a bit nay-nayed.
Fucking Twitter, and then talking to people and whisper a lot for many creators, and you have to find out by going through fucking Twitter, and then talking to people in whispers on Discord in order to figure out what was happening. That is so pathetic.
Yeah,
YouTube's repeated inability to communicate even their biggest changes to the platform just makes no sense. It just can't be that hard to put out clear documents letting people know what's around the corner and an estimated arrival date. I don't see what makes that so difficult and why they struggle so greatly with it. There was one article I found about this in early December, but of course there was no like set time frame for when this would. There was one article I found about this in early December, but of course there was no like set time frame for when this would actually launch. Or
so they've been considering this since the beginning of December. Like that's 4 weeks ago. Why are they so bad?
If it was even really going to launch for sure. Because all of those things are written so vaguely, you never really know what's going to come to the platform and what's not going to. Like, it's just so frustrating to have them constantly make these awful choices without ever consulting creators or users of the platform.
Well, I don't know if this is an awful choice. I mean, like, the only reason I'm saying I don't know is because if it's a choice that overall keeps people, like, the advertisers on the platform, it sounds like it probably is overall, like, a good choice based on the context. My thing is like, have they didn't really announce anything. Like, they didn't really communicate. For all creators, there's a creator dashboard you could go to. They should have in the creator dashboard, like, hey, we're changing. I mean, did they? That would be the best place for it. I don't even look, so maybe they did, and like I just didn't see it.
Obviously, but also just not telling them either. Unfortunately, it's all just another common YouTube L here. I had to unmask the Scooby-Doo villain, and per usual, it was YouTube. So if you're just now figuring this out and wondering why your channel got demonetized over the last 24 hours, I'm sorry I had to be the one to shit out this bad news onto your plate. Would have been a lot more palatable if it came from YouTube.
Yeah, no, nothing's really over here. Ideas for you. Learn about the ad-friendly guidelines. Get started. I mean, that's just so vague. And it released you to a video from 3 years ago. Then what's new in the studio? Handles are rolling out. That news is so old. We already have handles on our stuff. Research features and changes to our elections misinformation enforcement, which is when they reduced, I think they reduced the parameters for that. Why did they put anything in here? Even if I don't read it, at least I have like an excuse to be like, well, you should read it, asshole. And I'm like, okay, fair enough.
His mouth as opposed to my ass, but is what it is. I am very, very convinced they will never actually communicate policy changes ever, at least not in any effective manner. So you'll just always have to wonder when the next big policy change is coming to fuck you in the mouth. So that's a pretty fun thing to think about when making content on YouTube. And yeah, just wanted to give everyone the little update here since YouTube didn't. That's about it. See ya.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys telling me to watch this. It's kind of frustrating. Here's my thing. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I don't think I think it's a reasonable change. It's a big deal for some people, and that's rough because if you made your platform off this is brutal. But at the same time, it's probably to preserve advertisers for like overall everybody. So I don't think that they're doing it for funsy onesies. And I think it's more of a trying to not get another apocalypse. It's just a lack of communication that's frustrating. That's pretty much it.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.